Good morning, class 10. Today we will be knowing what is heat budget. Heat budget of the Earth is the balance of Earth's incoming and outgoing received radiation, which is unevenly distributed over the Earth as the Earth heats up very fast as the equatorial region than the polar region. Now, about 60% of the solar energy received is retained by the Earth's atmosphere temporarily. All of it which is eventually lost into the outer space. That means when it is out of the space, it is getting out. When incoming solar energy is balanced by an equal flow of the heat to space, the Earth is an equilibrium and temperature all over the Earth becomes relatively stable. Now, what is the process of heating of the atmosphere? There are different reasons why the atmosphere gets heated. Particularly, all the energy that reaches the Earth comes from the sun, we know it, and very small part of its radiation is directly absorbed by the ozone and water vapor that is present in the atmosphere, and some of the radiation is reflected back to space by clouds. As they come in contact with the clouds, they are again reflecting back to the space and the Earth's surface, but most of it is absorbed by the Earth's surface. Energy which is transformed between the Earth's surface and the atmosphere by radiation, conduction and convection, along with other related phenomena like advection, and by release of latent heat. Now, what is radiation? Radiation is a process in which or by which heat waves which are sent out by the Earth's surface. The Earth gets heated and the inner heat that is being thrown out by the Earth, that is known as heat waves. At the first, the surface of the Earth is heated by the sun. Then, the heat of the Earth's surface is then radiated to the lower atmosphere. That means when the heat is coming up from the Earth, the lower part of the atmosphere gets heated. The air in lower layer of the atmosphere gets heated. Condensation. In the condensation process, you know what is condensation in science. Now here, condensation, due to condensation, the heat which is transferred from the Earth by its contact. Now, for instance, I put a steel utensil on fire with water to boil, and above it I put another steel utensil. But when we are going to touch the topmost utensil, we will get a heat stroke. When we touch it, we can feel the heat. Now we are not hitting the top utensil, we were hitting the lower utensil, but still the utensil which is at the top is being heated. Why? Because as the upper utensil is connected with the lower utensil, the heat is being converted from this utensil to the top utensil. Same way, when heat radiation occurs due to condensation from the Earth, the heat comes in contact with the lower atmosphere and then it is transferred to the upper layer of the atmosphere. And this process of the layer of air upon the warmer surface of the Earth becomes heated due to the transport of the heat upwards through conduction. Next is convection. In this process, heat is conveyed from one part, that is from liquid to gas, to another part by movement of heat substance. The surface here, after being warmed by the radiation and conduction, it expands and becomes lighter. When it becomes lighter, it moves upwards. And as it moves upwards, the air from adjacent sides, places, which is cooler, comes to that empty surface to fill the gap. In turn, it also warms up and goes upward. So this keeps on continuing. Thus, heat from the Earth's surface passes upwards by air current. The upper atmosphere is therefore heated by convection current. The horizontal transfer here, see, one more is there. The horizontal transfer of heat by wind and ocean currents is known as advection. In this, the transmission of heat from higher heated zone to lower heated zone occurs. The atmosphere of the Earth. In the atmosphere of the Earth, from the higher heated zone to the lower heated zone, it is being transferred. When water vapor condenses, the latent heat that it holds is released and heats up the upper atmosphere.